back to my channel. It's Thrift to Glam, and today I'm coming to you guys with a NACA House to Home series video. But basically this video is just going to go over some tips on how I was able to successfully complete the NACA home ownership program. If you're probably watching my video, you probably already know about NACA and you know how challenging it is to navigate through the program. NACA is at the time I went through the program, and probably still now, they don't have that many employees to meet the demand of the actual home ownership program. So that in itself will contribute to slow response times, probably from your mortgage counselor, your I forgot some of the terminologies, but the counselor, your mortgage counselor, and then the mortgage consultant, they're all booked and busy. So you really have to stay on top of them, but not in a bad way. Don't stay on top of them into the point where you're actually aggravating them, but that you are getting results. Just a little bit about my NACA journey. I heard about NACA probably back in, it's been that long. I remember working at a telecommunications company probably over 20 years ago. Yes, I know I look young. Thank you. But I had a friend, she bought a house through NACA, and she went through the program, and I never signed up at that time. I don't know why, but I never did. Fast forward to about 2008, I actually bought my own home without NACA. I bought a home, and as you know, there was a big depression or housing crash back around that time. So I was laid off. I had my home probably about 4 years, and then I was laid off and I lost my home. So fast forward to last year, 2020. What year is it, y'all? Bear with me. Okay, fast forward to 2020. I had been living in my apartment probably about almost going to be going on 5 to 6 years, and my lease was going to be expiring, and I decided to, my lease was going to be expiring in August. So in February of 2020, I decided to, it's like, let me check out NACA again. And I scheduled an appointment for an intake appointment. And mind you, this was February 2020, right before COVID hit. So the nearest NACA office was probably like an hour and 30 minutes away from me. So I had to actually drive to that initial meeting to do my intake, and everything went smoothly. So I scheduled my intake. She gave me a follow-up plan on some things I needed to complete to help me qualify for the mortgage. So I did that, and we scheduled like a follow-up meeting probably like a month later. And by that time it was March and COVID hit, so they were no longer taking anyone in office, which was a benefit to me because I no longer had to drive to my appointments with my counselor. So that was perfect. We had a call. I uploaded. Basically, once you meet your mortgage counselor, you will receive a NACA ID, which allows you to go to their website, create a login, and basically upload any forms that they're asking for you, because you get. And so I did that, and by the time March came around, at my next meeting, pretty much I had everything that she needed, and I was able to get qualified. So I got qualified. I'm going to do a separate in-depth video on my journey, but this video right here really is to provide encouragement and tips that helped me through the program, because I like I said, I had my intake appointment in February. I was qualified a month later, and I closed on my house in July. So from the time of intake to the time I got closed on my home was 6 months, which is big in this NACA program. Because, some people don't get, they don't close in that short amount of time. But thank God that happened for me because my lease was up in August. So anyway, today I'm going to go over tip number 1 to help you navigate through a successful and quick, productive NACA journey. Is to be nice to everyone you come across that works at NACA. I'm telling you, when I tell you honey goes a long way, even from the receptionist who answers the phone at NACA, I got in real good with her. Her last name was actually my last name, so we had a little running joke, like, hey, Mrs. Such and Such, and like, hey, Mrs. Such and Such. So I'm telling you, do not be rude to these people because they're not going to take care of you as quickly as they could. So that is tip number 1, to be nice and cordial to everyone you deal with at NACA. I'm talking about everyone from your real estate agent to, like I said, the receptionist. Tip number 2, if you're watching this video, you probably are already familiar with the NACA binder. If you're not familiar with that terminology, just research other YouTube videos. There's plenty of videos on how to start and get organized and create a NACA binder. I went upstairs. I haven't looked at this binder in over a year. So this was my NACA binder that I put together, and it's basically just a binder to help you be organized. NACA qualification, I put that in, not qualification workbook, to help you get organized with your journey. And I divided mine into sections. Let's see what the sections are. So I had a section called income. The income section is where I kept all my pay stubs, statements. I had bank statements, LOEs, which is letter of explanations. Because with NACA, as you go through the journey, they may need you to explain something on your credit report. So I went ahead and typed up whenever they asked me for a letter. Actually, I got ahead. If I knew something was on my credit report that they were going to inquire about, I just went ahead and typed out the letter and just explain why I had a ding on my credit for such and such. But again, I'll make a separate video on that. And so I had a section for student loan statements, because you'll need to get a student loan obligation statement if you have any student loans. Then I have some internal revenue tax transcripts from a couple of years. And I think I have copies of my income tax returns from like the last 5 years or so. I have my W-2s. And if you're in the 401k, you'll need your 401k statement. So yeah, basically you get the gist. This is just a binder to help you get organized, so that you'll have all your documents that they're going to ask you for and ask you to upload. Tip number 3. If you haven't been, start paying your bills on time. So the way NACA works is NACA does not go by your credit score at all. They do not go by your credit score, and they will qualify you based on, your income, what you make, but there's no threshold in terms of the income that you can make. But so what they'll do is they will, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, they're big on how you pay your bills and paying your bills on time, no matter if it's your cable bill, baby daddy bill. I'm just kidding. Just kidding on that. But just make sure you start paying your bills on time. Start today. The thing I like about NACA is there's really no time frame for you to complete the program. Most people I found when I was on those training calls or NACA calls, people, the questions people are asked, a lot of people would get stressed out because again, they're trying to beat the deadline. They're trying to move from, like, if their lease expires, they're trying to get in a home through NACA at a certain amount of time. They're trying to close on their house before their lease ends. That can cause a lot of stress. And mind you, I was stressed, y'all. I was so stressed. But if you know your lease is not expiring for a year out and you want to go ahead and start the NACA program now, it's going to work in your favor because you'll have all this time to start getting your documents together and things like that. So start paying your bills on time. Tip number 4 is to stay in contact. If they ask you, if your mortgage counselor or your mortgage consultant reaches out to you and they ask you for a document, that means they are looking at your file. NACA, they have so many files, y'all, that they work. So it's important, if you know that they hit you up like, hey, I need this file, I need this documentation, get it to them ASAP. I'm telling you, I was like, my mortgage consultant, she hit me up on a Saturday, y'all, and asked for something. I didn't have a printer at my home, so I had to actually go to like Kinko's or FedEx facility and like print out what she needed and fax to her ASAP. I'm telling you, I was on top of whenever they asked me for something, because you do not want them moving on looking at somebody else's file, because that puts your file off to the side. So as soon as they ask you for a document, they email you, call you, get that document to them ASAP. And I think tip number 5 here, which is my last tip for today, is just to stay on top of any documents that they will ask you for. Just stay one step ahead. Again, in my binder, like I said, with those letters of explanations, I just began writing letters of explanations for anything that they would ask for. And also on your bank statements, if they see that you made a large purchase, they'll want a letter of explanation for that. So I just went ahead and wrote, like when the statement came out and I had to upload my statement to their website, I just went ahead and created a separate letter of explanation, the date of the transaction and why it was a certain amount. And I just did it that way. I just stay on top of your documents. But yeah, those are my 5 tips for today that I hope will help you. But again, just keep pressing, because if you're in the program and you're doing everything that you're supposed to do, you will get a home. And the benefit, I forgot to tell you guys, the benefit of the NACA mortgage program, let me see, pull it up on their website. Sorry, I'm cheating because it's been a while. But basically, the purpose of NACA is an nonprofit community advocacy and home ownership organization. NACA's primary goal is to build strong, healthy neighborhoods in urban and rural areas nationwide through affordable home ownership. NACA has made the dream of home ownership a reality for thousands of working people by counseling them honestly and effectively, enabling even those with poor credit to purchase a home and modify their predatory loan with better terms. So pretty much NACA is to help people with poor credit, people that have live in apartments who think that their credit is too bad and they cannot own a home. That's why NACA does not look at your credit, y'all. That's why it's so important to pay your bills on time, because they just want to make sure that that you have income coming in, and B, that you pay your bills on time, because they understand that the way the system is set up, it's not to help those who pay rent. It is not to help those. So that's the biggest thing about NACA. That's their, and then also the greatest thing about their mortgage program is that they have no down payment, no closing costs, 0 fees, which means no PMI insurance on your mortgage, and they always offer below market fixed rate. So what that means is, if the nation's interest rate to buy a home is 4%, NACA interest rate will be like 3% or less. And then not only that, you can buy down your interest rate. But I'm not going to get into that right now. But you can buy down your interest rate all the way down to 0.075% or something like that. So that's pretty awesome. That means you can have a lower monthly rate. And so, yeah. So basically, my mortgage is cheaper than what I was paying in rent, y'all. And my home is really nice. It's a new build, luxury townhome is what they call it. But I'm telling you, the NACA program is great. They have other requirements to be in the program, but I'm not going to get in that today. But it's nothing to even worry about. But yeah, you should go and check out the website if you're looking to get into home ownership, but you thought you could never own a home. You may just want to check out NACA. It may just be for you. But until my next video, thank you for watching. And I hope you would subscribe, and also comment below if you're going through the NACA program. Comment below if you're experiencing any roadblocks in your program. I would love to hear about it, and maybe I could offer some suggestions too, because I ran into some roadblocks, and maybe I should do a story time. Let me write that down. A story time video on how I was able to overcome any hardships, or not hardships, but roadblocks in the NACA program. But be sure to subscribe, y'all, because I'm going to be posting more NACA videos, because I really want to help you guys who want to also buy a home. And thank you for watching. Bye.